Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Godzilla 65th Anniversary 3.5-inch Angiurus 2004, the last figure in the Godzilla 65th Anniversary 3.5-inch line. A couple things I want to say before I get into this video. First of all, I just want to say that if I sound different in this video, this is something I should have said in last week's video, but if I sound different in this video and in last week's video, I'm recording those videos like, seconds after each other, so I'm recording them on the same day. And if I sound different, then that is probably because last night, at least when I'm recording this, I went to a fair with my friends, and there was a lot of screaming, so, yeah, there's a lot of screaming, so my voice is still kind of recovering from that, so if I sound different, I do apologize for that, so, yeah. Also, one last thing, this might be my last Godzilla video for a while, not because I'm quitting or anything like that, I'm just out of stuff to review. I pretty much reviewed everything I own at this point, so, yeah. If I get something new, then I'll definitely be sure to review it, but at least for right now, this might be my last Godzilla video for a while, so, yeah. I do apologize for that, but, I'm out of stuff to review, so what am I gonna do? So, yeah. Anyway, this version of Angiurus comes from the 2004 film Godzilla Final Wars, which used to be my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. In fact, it was the first Godzilla movie I've ever seen, not counting the 1998 film. And that was the movie that got me hooked to Godzilla, so I do have a little bit of nostalgia when it comes to that movie, but after watching it recently, it's not great. Now, I don't hate the movie. I still think it's a fun movie, but it's just not great. I just feel like the story is kind of but I feel like when they were making that movie, they didn't really care too much on the story. They instead wanted to focus more on the action, which isn't the worst thing. Honestly, like, the reasons why, like a lot of the Godzilla movies in terms of story I really like. I thought Shin Godzilla had a great story. Of course, the original 1954 film, that story was great, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. And I will admit, the action, again, is very entertaining. It used to be my favorite Godzilla movie of all time, mainly because it was my first, but after watching others and after watching Final Wars again, I don't love it as much. Do I hate it? No. I just don't love it, so, yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get into this. So, first, we'll take a look at the painting on this figure, and the painting on this figure, for the most part, is not bad. So, going to his body here, we can see that most of his body is painted the traditional Final Wars Angiurus blue, which is accurate to the movie, and actually does look pretty nice. His toenails on each foot, and the spikes on his his back legs and his front legs are painted a kind of like a bonish, yellowish, greenish color, which does look nice. We can see that his horn, if my camera can focus, there we go, his horn, the spikes on the back of his head, his spikes on his back, and all the spikes on his tail are painted a beigeish color, which actually does look nice for the most part. I feel like the tail could have been a little cleaner, but the tail is pretty small, so I guess, they couldn't really do that, but whatever. Although I will say this, I feel like the back could have been done much better, though, because a lot of the painting for his back kind of bleeds onto where it's supposed to be blue, like on the back there, and his neck here, so, yeah, and even on the underside it kind of bleeds under, which is very unfortunate, but, yeah, anyway, going to his head, if my camera can focus. There we go. We can see that his eyes, for some reason, are painted gold. I don't know why they went for that, but the ears are painted gold, and he has black pupils, and the teeth are painted white. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. And the painting on this figure, a little sloppy, truth be told. I feel like it could have been a little better, so, yeah. Usually I'd say for the kind of figure this is, it's not bad, but I feel like the painting on this figure, like, all the sloppiness, like, at least in the back, I feel like they could have fixed that up a little bit. So, I'd say that the painting here gets, I'd say 3/4 of a pass. It's not bad for what it is, but it's a little too sloppy for what it is, so yeah. Anyway, now we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation is pretty basic for a Bandai Movie Monster Series figure. So, the front legs can move 360, and the back legs could move 360, but unfortunately these spikes kind of get in the way. So, oh, well, never mind. They can move 360, but do be careful. They do kind of rub against the spikes here, actually. So I wouldn't recommend doing it a lot. So, yeah. Also, the tail can twist, so that's always nice. The only reason why it twists is because you actually do have to assemble the tail out of the box. So, yeah. Which I actually wasn't expecting, but, you know, we have a joy in the tail either way, so, yeah. And that is pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. Again, for a miniature Bandai Movie Monster Series figure, it's not bad at all. So the articulation, it's average, so it gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure is really good for the most part. I guess the only thing I don't like is that the tail is a little too thick. I get why it's this thick, because if it was, you know, any thinner, I feel like, you know, it could have broke easily, but again, I just feel like, you know, the tail is just a little too thick. But other than that, the sculpting on this figure is very spot on to what we see in Godzilla Final Wars. So, yeah, the sculpting on this figure is good, so it gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure, again, is really good for what it is. So, taking a look at the head, we can see all the creasing and all the musculature in the face there, which actually does look very nice and very dog-like. Going to his neck here, we can see all the creasing and whatnot, which again looks very well defined. All the detailing underneath his stomach here looks really nice. Those scales actually look really cool. And all the detailing on his legs, all the creasing and whatnot, look very nice. His ankylosaur-like back shell armor thing, whatever you want to call it, is detailed pretty nicely as well. And going to his back legs here, we have a fair bit of musculature, more of that ankylosaur-like armor, shell, whatever you want to call it, is there, which actually does look nice. And yeah, some really nice creasing. And going to the tail here, we have more creasing throughout, which looks very well defined, very good, and I like it. And that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And for what it is, the detailing here is actually very good. So the detailing gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this figure? Truth be told, I would have preferred if this was the Showa Angiurus rather than the 2004 Angiurus, but an Angiurus figure is honestly very nice nonetheless. So, yeah. There aren't a lot of Angiurus figures out there, so I'd say that this figure is definitely worth it. If you were to find it in stores, it'd probably be like $8, but this figure actually isn't out in stores yet. If you want this thing, you are going to have to pay like $28. That's how much I paid for mine. A little much for what it is, truth be told, but honestly, I didn't mind because, you know, the more Angiurus figures, the better. So, yeah. I am a big Angiurus fan, and again, I really hope he appears in another Godzilla movie. So, yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, here we have all the other figures in the line. And really quick, I know I didn't review these two when I unboxed them, but that's because I actually already reviewed these. These figures, or these two actually came out all the way back in 2014. So, yeah, I reviewed them sometime in 2016, so, yeah, these figures are re-releases. So that's why you didn't see the reviews for these guys recently. So, yeah. Anyway, here is Final Wars Godzilla, Kiryu, Shin Godzilla, Bio Goji, Kamada-kun, just put them there, Hedorah, Rodan just fell over, but Rodan, he'll go right here, and Anime Godzilla. So here are all the figures in the set, and I'm not gonna lie, these figures actually look very nice together, actually. Bear with me for 1 second, let me just adjust my tripod. So, let me adjust the lighting. There we go. Something like that. So, yeah. All the figures in the set look very nice together. Some figures, I'm not gonna lie, like Shin Godzilla, it's not the best. And Kamada-kun isn't awful, but not great. But, you know, these figures, I'd say still look very nice together. If you were to skip out on any, I'd say skip out on Shin Godzilla. I'd say, honestly, if you already have these two, from 2014, then just skip out on them as well. Oops. And Kamada-kun, I guess you could skip out on. But, yeah, these figures look very nice, like the ones that are here. These ones are my favorite. No particular order. I guess if I had to pick one favorite out of all these, I'd say that Byogoji is my favorite, but, you know, these figures, at least the ones here, look very nice. The ones like Shin Godzilla and Kamada-kun and whatnot, they don't look awful, but they're just not as good as what they could have been, so, yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big they all are, here they all are with Dr. Billy Grant. We'll just put him right here. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Zack out.